You left the narcissist, so why can't you just get over them? Why don't you feel free yet? And why does your body still react like they're in the room with you, even when they're long gone? Why do you feel on edge, even when nothing is actually happening? Even when you're home and there's nobody else around? And more importantly, why does it feel like no matter how much you understand what happened, nothing actually changes how you feel? There's a reason for this, and most people never get shown it. But once you see it, you'll realize why you felt so stuck, even when you've done everything right, even when you've done everything you were told to do to heal. Because on the surface, everyone thinks that you look fine. You're functioning, you're going to work, you're speaking to people, and you're getting through your day. But underneath that, something doesn't quite feel right, does it? It feels like you've been changed forever. Because you're still scanning everything in your environment all of the time. And you instantly notice tone shifts in conversations. You analyze messages and you replay conversations long after they've happened. And this isn't just occasionally, it's constantly. And you may have been thinking to yourself things like, did I say something wrong? Did I upset them? Did I miss something? Did I handle that badly? Even when nothing actually happened, even when the conversation happened days ago. And then there's this part which is so much harder to explain. You sit down to relax, and no matter what you do, your body just won't let you. There's this underlying tension, this constant alertness, and this feeling like something is about to happen, even though nothing ever does. And that's what's so confusing, because logically you know that you're safe now, or as safe as you can be, but your body doesn't. You see, your mind left the narcissist, but your body didn't. And that changes everything. Because now suddenly you begin to understand why those things you've tried to heal haven't quite worked. And this starts to make sense. You've learned about the narcissism. You understand the patterns, and you can probably explain exactly what happened in minute detail. And you may have gone to therapy, read the books, listened to the podcasts, set boundaries, gone no contact, worked on your mindset. And yet you still feel like this. Why is that? Because none of those things you've tried actually change what your body learned. You see, you cannot think your way out of something that your body is still trying to protect you from. And in that relationship, if you think about it, your system had to adapt to survive in it. You had to learn to read the room. You had to learn to monitor emotional shifts. And you had to learn to anticipate reactions. But most of all, you had to stay one step ahead all the time. And maybe it looks something like this. You incidentally say something small and immediately you'd panic, watching for their reaction, watching to see if that landed wrong, watching to see if their tone changed, watching to see if something was about to escalate. And so your systems learn to pay attention, to stay alert, to not relax, to not switch off, because relaxing was never safe. And your body remembers that even now. So after the relationship has ended, and maybe even your environment has changed, your programming hasn't. So even though things may have calmed down and you've managed to get away, got no contact with the narcissist, your body is responding like you're still with them, like you're still walking on eggshells all of the time. And that's why you feel anxious when there's nothing wrong. That's why you think even the most mundane interactions. That's why you can't switch off. That's why you feel constantly on edge, because not because something is wrong now, but because something was inherently wrong. And this is where it goes even deeper, because this doesn't just affect how you feel. It affects who you feel that you are. So you've started second guessing yourself, and you stop trusting your instincts, and you override what you feel. And over time, you just don't feel like yourself anymore. Not because you lost yourself, but because your identity adapted to survive in something unsafe. And that's the part that nobody tells you. This is exactly what I specialize in, not just helping you understand what happened, but helping your body update so it finally knows that it's over. Because healing doesn't happen when you just know about something. It happens when your system no longer feels under threat. And when that shift happens, you stop scanning, you stop replaying conversations, you stop analyzing everything, and you can sit down and finally relax. You can be present. And you can stop waiting for something to go wrong because you trust yourself again. And that constant feeling that something isn't quite right, that just disappears. Not because you forced it, but because your system finally caught up with the reality that you're living in now. So if this is resonating, I've put together a free masterclass where I walk you through this properly and show you how to start shifting it. You can watch it by clicking the link below. If you found this video useful, please go ahead and hit the like button, and in the comments below, let me know if anything resonated with you here. I'm Angela Darling, and I look forward to seeing you next time.